Hi, I'm Nick Shell, and if you're watching this video, which I assume that you are, it implies that you've watched me perform my brand new song called This Is What It Feels Like to Be Born. Now, very interesting story behind this song, because in real time, it was less than 18 hours ago that I wrote the song. I had those first two chords that I recorded on my phone for future reference. Months ago, I just sort of recorded that. And yesterday afternoon, I decided, I wonder if I could maybe work on that song. So I'm not kidding, I spent about 15 minutes and the song was done. And just the easiest song that I've ever written. And it's funny because even as I look at these words, not even once did I have to scratch out a word and rewrite it, because that's often part of the process. You go through it several times and make some adjustments. But it just came to me all within 15 minutes based on those two chords I had saved in my phone. So I want to share this song as far as the lyrics of what inspired me to write this song. So the title is, This Is What It Feels Like to Be Born. I always want to challenge myself in new ways when I write songs, and I've been playing with the idea of writing a song that doesn't technically have a chorus. So I was able to accomplish that with this song. Technically, this song is half instrumental, because out of the 3-minute runtime, most of the time I'm not actually singing words. So it's almost like poetry set to music in a way. But here are the lyrics. This is what it feels like to be born. And the whole concept of this song is I wanted to imagine what it was like before we were born. We can't see anything, we can't experience anything, we don't exist, we're not aware of our existence, and then suddenly we exist. I wanted to capture that moment, that concept, that idea in a chord progression in words. This is what it feels like to be born. Pain and pleasure measured by existence. Because that's one of the fascinating things about life is I feel like it's a combination of heaven and hell at the same time. This is how it feels to be alive, finding meaning so this can all make sense. Now, if you're familiar with my songs, you know that one of the major themes is seeing life as an existential crisis. And so finding meaning so this can all make sense. Part of the meaning of life is finding meaning. Finding meaning, that journey. So there's the first verse. And then I go into the falsetto from there and more of just the instrumental. Second verse, this is what it feels like to be loved, engaged in time and space and understanding. And what I mean by that line is, when I say love, I don't simply mean romantic, and I largely, for the most part, don't mean, I'm not referring to romantic love in that sense. Just the fact that what gives life meaning is the people we spend it with. And so it just so happens we were born in a certain time, a certain year, in a certain place. And in that time and space, we also have understanding. We connect, we're engaged to people. And that's what gives life meaning. This is how it feels to love someone, giving meaning, so this can all make sense. Whereas the first time I said finding meaning, well, when you love someone, you're giving them meaning to their life, because love is not simply accepting, more so it's giving. So giving meaning so this can all make sense. And then the final verse, this is what it feels like to be wrong. Shame and sorrow measured by confusion. This is how it feels to be right. Having meaning so this can all make sense. Now, the reason I wrote that verse is because I wanted to point out how mysterious life is. And the older you get, and of course I'm months away from turning 40, I'm very aware of that. It's a matter of reflection as far as what I've learned in life. And so much of life is being rejected. So much of life is being accepted. So much of it is being wrong and not knowing better up until you make that mistake, and then spending the rest of your life trying to build on top of that to not make that same mistake again, and ultimately being right in life as well. It's that balance. We can't be perfect. We do our best to live the best life we can. So what you see in this song is a balance of all of these things to make up what life really is. One of the inspirations of this song too is a book I've referenced before called The Happiness Advantage, where it actually talks about what makes a person happy. So there's scientifically 3 things that measure that: pleasure, engagement, and meaning. So part of what inspired this song is taking those 3 concepts and putting them into a song as far as equating what life is all about. So you'll find those concepts in this song. The second line, pain and pleasure measured by existence. And then in the second verse, engaged in time and space understanding. So that's the engagement. And then of course, meaning in each of those 3 verses. Finding meaning so this can all make sense. Giving meaning so this can all make sense. Having meaning so this can all make sense. So I guess the last thing I want to say about this song, and in theory this is the last song I will write for 2020. I thought yesterday's song that I did, Making Up for Lost Time, was my last song, and then bam, this came out of nowhere. So as far as I know, this is the last song that I'll write in 2020. But something I'm aware of, again, now that I'm 39, months away from turning 40, it's interesting because if you listen to what's on the radio, pop music, mainly written by younger people, and performed by younger people, people in their 20s, and they don't have the life experience someone like me has. I've lived a lot of life, and especially when I hit 35 about 5 years ago, that was when I really started to grasp life for what it actually is. It's when I started coming to terms with my own faith as far as a Christian, as far as recognizing that this is faith. I can't prove God is real. I can't believe. I can only believe, but I can't prove that Jesus died for our sins. I can't prove to you that those of us who believe will spend eternity with Him. I can't prove any of that. It's faith, and that's a choice. And I think part of my growth in my Christian faith was me coming to terms with that, thinking, you know what? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I chose the wrong religion and the wrong faith, but still that's part of my decision that I'm going to make. Because really, life doesn't make sense. And one of the first songs that I had recorded here on my channel, I performed it with my wife. And I talk about in that song, it's called The Meaning of Life, if you want to look that up on this channel. But I talk about how none of us asked to be born. Yet we're faced with this decision to sort out what life is all about. To make a decision, are we going to choose in a God who created us? Are we going to choose to be accountable to Him and assume that we are going to be judged? So all of these things, very intense, very heavy, and yet we didn't ask to be here. And I think that's fascinating. We got to find the meaning in life. We got to give the meaning in life to others, and we have to have that meaning in our life. So that's what inspired this song, and again, a record for the shortest amount of time I've ever written a song. Again, I wrote it less than 18 hours ago, and it took me about 15 minutes. Thanks for watching this video to explain why I wrote the song. And again, if you want to check out the song, just look here, there's a link, and you can check out the song. Thanks for watching.